What's going on, everybody? Back here again for another episode of the Pressplaypodcast. Going to be doing a fun little episode today. We're going to be talking about hunting games. We got me. I'm your host, Drew Hettinger, and we got my co-host, only one today, Drayton.
Yes, sir. That is me.
Everybody else is bailing out on us, so you know what? We're going to have a little bit of fun with this episode. Something kind of unique, to say the least. So yeah, let's just dig right into it. So our first question of this video, this podcast, is what makes a good hunting game? You want to start that off, Drayton, or do you want me to start?
I'll start it off. So for me, a good hunting game is one that has not only realism, so it has to be realistic, of course, but also a little added, fiction to it. You know what I mean? So like, obviously, some of the games that are out now that we've played and stuff, they have realism, but not a lot. But they also have a lot of fiction. So like, obviously, there's not going to be like a pack of wolves freaking come out of nowhere and attacking you and that kind of thing. But I like that too because it's not as enjoyable just going out and actually just hunting deer. Obviously, the real life hunting is fun. Don't get me wrong, but like if you're gonna play a game on it, I would like a little more action than just sitting.
I think you said that perfectly. That's kind of verbatim, kind of what I was going to say. You want it to be realistic, but you also want there to be some fun gameplay elements too that, make it a game and not just a simulator.
Mm-hmm. And, like just adding like maybe some hidden areas and stuff like, and we'll get to, I guess I'll get to there in a bit about one of my favorite hunting games that did that.
No, I got some questions where we can really dig into this stuff, so don't you worry. But yeah, I'm in lockstep with Drayton. I think a hunting game just has to be realistic because obviously you don't want to use like a rocket launcher when you're going out in the woods.
Right.
But but something like say like kind of like you said with the wolves, like of course that's not going to happen in real life unless they're like super hungry or something and you're like the only source of food they see or something like that. But stuff like that makes it as a game more enjoyable.
Yeah, no, totally. I agree completely.
So yeah, this kind of ties exactly in the last question, or kind of what we said anyways. Should hunting games be totally realistic? We pretty much answered this. It should have like, probably like 80+% accuracy, maybe 75 plus. But there needs to be elements thrown in there of where you can tell it's a game and it's not going to be real life just for the sake of the game.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, like if a hunting game was so realistic, you'd just be sitting in a stand forever waiting for a deer to walk by, and that would not be fun. What people want to do is they want to be moving around and stuff, and that is what people do, but like the ideal way, I guess, that is most common. So definitely not totally realistic. No.
This will probably answer a question kind of later on, but I'm going to go ahead and I feel like, to be honest, this kind of answers the first question too, that you should just be able to choose however you want to play a hunting game. They should have a whole bunch of settings, kind of like a sandbox game like Minecraft, and you just choose how you want to do it. Do you want the animals to be just moving all over? Do you want them to be stationary where you have to go find them? Like, you should be able to choose all that, and the game shouldn't decide it for you.
Yeah, no, totally. Because, like, say it would also appeal to older audiences, like older folks who that's what they're used to is just sitting in the stand and, or doing it the old fashioned way where they just sat on the ground or something, like that would definitely, I think, appeal to a lot of audience, and ages. So,
for sure. All right, we're kind of flying through these questions so far, but I guess basically the first two were pretty similar. What is our favorite hunting game? So I'll start this one off. My favorite hunting game is the first Cabela's Dangerous Hunts. That is my favorite and forever and always will be. It had so much to offer. You didn't have the biggest selection of guns, but you had good enough for PlayStation 2 original Xbox era, there was plenty enough. It had pistols. It had like three, I think. You even had knives. You had a crossbow. You had a recurve and a compound bow. I don't remember if there was a muzzleloader. I don't think there was. And it had a plethora of bolt action hunting rifles. And I think it might have even had a semi-automatic or two. I don't remember. And then it had like two shotguns or three shotguns. But that game, it's kind of like what we were saying earlier. It had the element of realism, like, you know, you're going out in the woods, but it also had an element of fiction where everything you go after attacks you. So that kind of made it really fun for me. You'd go out and you'd have a deer trying to charge at you.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, there's like the elephant, or not the elephants. In later Cabela's, there's elephants. There's rhinos, obviously, and Cape buffalo, stuff that would kill people in real life so easily. And stuff like that, like wild boar, they always try to go after people. Stuff like that that makes sense. But a deer or a mule deer or an elk isn't just going to charge somebody only under certain situations will they do that, certain circumstances. It's not just going to happen if they see you just every time. But I think it definitely hits that niche, I guess we would say, where it has both game and realistic elements to it. Even though the realistic, I think in that game compared to a lot of others, it's iffy. But for its time and just, I mean, I go back and play that game on, you know, I try to at least once a year. I mean, I really do enjoy playing that game.
Mm-hmm. So, like, would you say the game is? Oh, because you were explaining some of it. Is it? Would you say it's somewhat more realistic than games nowadays?
Oh, no. I think the games now are more so realistic, but I think that's kind of the downfall of them as well.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand that completely.
But like I said, I mean, if you could choose what you do, then it wouldn't matter. It would appeal to everybody. Because if you want to just sit down for 3 hours until something walks in front of your screen, by all means. But if I'm playing a game, especially a hunting game, I want to be doing something. I don't want to just sit down for hours and wait. But I mean, if you want to do it, you can go ahead and do it. Because I mean, that is realistic. But I don't know. It's kind of like where what's the difference between the simulator kind of now with what's going on with hunting games and the game aspect? Because I would much rather go out and sit out in the woods in real life than just sit in front of the TV and wait for something to come in front of my screen.
Right, exactly, and that's kind of where they try to make it more real or exciting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you know, like, why would I buy a $60 game just to sit there when I can go out and sit in the woods for free and look at animals? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I honestly think I played that game you was talking about, the first Cabela's Dangerous Hunt. I think I actually, played it, but not very much.
Mm-hmm.
Because I looked at images just to get an idea, and I think I have to. So.
I'm pretty sure you played it at my house. I think we used to play it. I had the Xbox 360 set up like a couple years back, and I think you probably played it then.
Yeah, that might have been it. I mean, I do remember the cover distinctly because it was very unique and unforgettable cover.
And then the cutscene too at the beginning, it has the old man walking out. He sees like an elk or a deer, and then a mountain lion jumps off, and you know that's how it just cuts into the screen.
Yep, I remember that completely. So what? My favorite?
Yeah, your favorite hunting game.
So I've played a lot of hunting games, and it's between two. Now, one of them is a Cabela's, the other one is not, and I will quickly figure it out. But I guess the one that I played the most is the 2012 Cabela's Big Game Hunts, I think it is. It was for the Wii, and that was I remember we were talking about it before the episode, or before we started recording. The gun that you would kind of plug in. Of course, no. This is something different. I think I know what you're talking about. But like, the one on the Wii was like the first hunting game that I actually owned, and I enjoyed playing so much. Like it was so much fun because you got to kind of walk around and shoot. And the thing about it also is that it had a lot of realism to it. Like it had a lot of realistic factors to it, but at the same time, it did not. Like there would be there would be moments where you get attacked by like a crocodile or something, and you'd shoot it, and then like literally on the other side there'd be a bunch of deer, and it's like, okay, that doesn't make any sense because if you shoot a freaking crocodile and make all that noise, you're not gonna the deer are probably gonna run away, you know.
Yeah.
And there's parts of the game where you're sneaking through grass like literally feet from a deer.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you know that they will see you is by the monitor that's on your wrist. But the thing that I liked about that game, I mentioned it before, is there were secret areas that you could go to, and it would have like these random like events they called it, I guess, or whatever, and you could take pictures with a camera, and it was kind of cool, you know, because like you go to a secret area and all of a sudden there's this animal that you haven't seen. It's like, whoa, it's or like, you know, be like an albino deer or something. It's like, well, that's cool, you know, like that's completely different from what I'm seeing. So, and then the second one, I'm just gonna mention it briefly. It is a hunting game, Carnivores 2 on the PC. That game was probably one of the first ever games that I ever played. That was I remember I would
Was
it
that
was
the one with Bigfoot in it?
that was Carnivores Ice Age.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. I remember I played that too.
And I do have that on my list too, but no, Carnivores 2 I think came out before Ice Age.
Okay. No, I knew there was a game like that, and then there was a game that was just the dinosaur. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess like Drew said, Carnivores 2 and the Carnivores series or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
on dinosaurs and prehistoric creatures.
Still really fun.
It's really fun. There, so
Yeah, I think I actually got those games from Bryce, and then I tried to like show them to you. I believe that's probably what happened, because I think he used to play them at Bryce's house. Not 100%, but
I just remember having it at my grandparents' house, and always looked forward to going to their house because I didn't have a console really.
mm,
So I went there and I played on the PC, which is just an old desktop, but I could still play games on it.
no, that was definitely a pretty fun one. Um, Kinda. No, I mean this is different enough. What was the last good hunting game you played? Um, I'm gonna say. I mean, it's kind of like the newest one, pretty much. Besides Hunting Simulator, I do enjoy Hunter Call of the Wild. It's more realistic, I would say, than game like, but it's fun and like it just depends usually. Sometimes like it's like real life. So sometimes you'll see a lot of stuff and then sometimes you won't see anything. But they came out with a map recently. It's in Colorado. It's based in Colorado. It's called Silver Ridge Peaks or something. And I really like it. That made the game pretty fun for me. Just because I like that kind of landscape and I like shooting bear or elk or mountain goats or mule deer. I think they even have bison in that area, oddly enough. But yeah, it's pretty fun, but it's very much so on the realistic kind of category, which makes it to where I don't want to play it that often. But it is a good game for what it is. You just might have to sit there for a while, or once you find out some like good spots to like set your tripod or deer stand, it isn't too bad. But you got to know where those spots are, and it can take a while to figure them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. That sounds like the game that I was going to kind of mention. Maybe it's something different. There was like Hunting Simulator or something.
Yeah, that's the other one that kind of it's more arcadey though.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you mentioned, there hasn't really been that many really good hunting games. Like
Hmm.
stuff like that. It's super realistic and it's fun. I
Hmm.
if the
Yeah.
set enough, but like you know, uh, the thing that made like the Cabela's game so fun was its realism, but not because add these wow factors to it. I guess that's what I'm looking for is wow factors. Like just that kind of thing. But as far as like the last good hunting game, of course, the last hunting game that I played was the one that you recommended, which is Cabela's African Adventures, which it was fine. Obviously, its realism was completely like
Mhm.
like it was not the best of things ever, but it was also very very fun, and I liked the boss fights, and I liked you know the idea of it and stuff. So, but I guess I'll just go with Cabela's 2012.
And I got two games real quick that aren't necessarily hunting games, but they have strong hunting elements. They both did a good job. Red Dead 2, I really like how you can skin the animals, sell the pelts and stuff. I really like that aspect of it. How it's not just you're killing something, and why it's not like super detailed and stuff. In the hunting aspect, I mean, it makes up for it in a lot of other things, but that's pretty cool. And also, uh, Far Cry Primal, I thought was pretty good too.
Hmm. No, I understand that completely, especially Red Dead. Like that definitely adds a lot of realism to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's something I should add, that I want to add too is with these kind of games, we're all focused on the big deer, big freaking deer, which is fine. But
Mm-hmm.
I guess if they wanted to add realism to it, like you shouldn't be penalized if you shoot something smaller or even a doe for that matter. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I just feel like people are so in these kind of games are hell bent on preventing you from killing a doe or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
That's the only thing you see. Why can't you shoot it?
yeah.
It's a video game, for God's sakes.
I feel like I feel like what they do, and I've started to do this too, is whenever you kill a doe, I pull out the head and I keep it because it's a keepsake. It's still a deer. Like you killed it. There's no point in just doing whatever. I feel like if they may have added that factor to a hunting game, where any animal you kill, you either get like some trophy out of it, whether it be a pedestal or a skull or something.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that might bring a little more enjoyment to them. But that's
Yeah.
just
No, for sure. For sure.
kind of what I probably could have done. Sorry.
This one's gonna be kind of a little difficult, I think. What's one of our favorite weapons in a hunting game?
Ooh.
Um, I put this here. I probably should have taken more time to think about it. I don't honestly know. I know it's like kind of like I mentioned earlier. I know it's not really a hunting game, but I really liked throwing spears at stuff on Far Cry Primal. That's definitely one of my favorites. Um, but in an actual hunting game, um, I forget what it's called. It was the gun that could kill elephant or not elephants. I keep saying elephants. It was for rhinos and like Cape Buffalo and Cabela's Dangerous Hunts. I forget what it is and what caliber, but it was meant to shoot really big stuff like that. And if you would go and like bring it to like one of the starting areas and shoot like a deer in the foot, it like will do a flip in the air and like jump around. So I mean, it's hilarious. Also, what made that game so great was the bullet cam. Bullet cams make hunting games so much better. And if you can have an option to see their vitals, that would be awesome as well. I really like that. But a bullet cam. Bullet cams are where it's at. At least give us the option to turn it on. Because for me, when I shoot, I like seeing the bullet just go and see. That way I can make sure if I got a good shot or not on it. So I don't have to wonder like, oh, like, I mean, I know it's not necessarily realistic, but it's just something that would be nice to have.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I did want to mention that from one of the old games that I had. My grandparents, I remember, would buy us a bunch of games because they had the older consoles, such as the first Xbox,
Mm-hmm.
and on that they had Cabela's Big Game Hunts 2006. I have that on my thing here. Now, you mentioned bullet cam. I did not like the bullet cam system in 2006, like the big game or Cabela's 2006,
Mm-hmm.
because there'd be a bunch of leaves and stuff in the way, and then you know there'd be an arrow pointing at the animal and you'd shoot, and all it just every single time you shot, it would do the bullet camp, and it kind of I didn't really like it too much. I don't know why. It just bothered me with that, but it's just how that goes, though. But what was the question again? Kind of
What was our favorite weapon in a hunting game?
any hunting game. In any hunting game, a bow is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Is just my thing because you can, whether it be the arcade version or even on a console, a bow I feel like is one of my favorites because you're quiet. You can, if you miss, then you can always try again and not
Mm-hmm.
scare everything off. Because if you have another gun you shoot, then you might as well just restart. So that's why that's mine.
Uh, in Hunter Call of the Wild, my favorite weapon is probably they have like an M1 Grand. You can that's really fun to use because I don't know, it's just really fun to use that. And then the ping, like when you eject the yeah, that's just it's awesome.
That's cool. Okay, so
Yeah, no, they got a whole bunch of like I guess you would say weapon packs and stuff like that. And yeah, M1 Grand is in one of them, and also the recurve bow, which those are my two favorite weapons: the recurve bow and then the M1 Grand. But yeah,
I know that, like in 2012, you had your starting rifle, and it was a semi-auto rifle, like it wasn't a bolt action, but like you could get a monster clip on that thing, and I remember, I think it was like 22 rounds. Pow, 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 pow. Just, I thought it was awesome.
this is gonna be my favorite question because I think there's gonna be a decent amount to talk about. If you were to design a hunting game, how would you do so? All right. So this is going to be pretty fun. So what I would do is I wouldn't make it just a hunting game. I would have it be a survival game where you can hunt. Say you just get sent off, you're in the middle of the woods. You can, I mean, I guess if you want to leave or whatever after you can, but I would have it be to where it's a survival based game. You take whatever equipment you want. You can choose to either, just have hell, you could probably choose to make a recurve bow out in the wilderness if you wanted to, but just something like you can bring whatever weapons you want, uh, stuff like that. But just have this big like terrain, like maybe British Columbia, Colorado, Alaska, Canada. Just throw you in this big open area, and just make it to be like you can survive. You can have it would have hunting elements, also could have some fishing elements, and hell, you could even eat like berries or stuff. I think that'd be really cool because that way it would make it realistic for the most part, and you would be more excited if it was like to say you were just to see one animal the whole day because you would have to eat something like later that night. So I think that would be really cool. Um, yeah, kind of like you can just camp out like in a tent or in a cave or something. I think that'd be really cool. I don't know how it would have to be done. There would obviously have to be a lot that would go into that, but that is definitely the direction that I would go because I've always kind of wanted a game like that, um, that's realistic but still like has that element that makes it more fun than just going out in the wilderness. And I think for me personally, that would really put it over the top.
No, yeah, for sure. I really like that idea. I guess another thing I was going to add to it is you could also restrict like how many bullets you get. Like
Yeah, exactly. Just like a Survivor Man type situation, like on episodes where he's sent out with like what 20 rounds, and he's sent out with a gun, has to survive a week, something like that.
well, that kind of reminds me of carnivores. In carnivores too, you're only given a
Mm-hmm.
max amount of ammunition. Like you
Mm-hmm.
can't get any more than what you got, and that kind of restricts you. So I kind of like that aspect because, like you said, it bring the survival aspect out. Because maybe
You could make your own bullets or something.
exactly make your own bullets, rebuild or refill.
Mm-hmm.
Reload. That's the word. Reload your own
Mm-hmm.
shells. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if I was to make a game, I would definitely do something kind of like that, or um, make it realistic but not too realistic. I guess what I'm kind of thinking, as far as what you just said, is something like I don't know why I'm kind of old school. I'm going off of an old book I used to read. It was like it was a kid that ran away from his parents or something. He went to live in the woods or something. And
Hatchet?
no, it wasn't
No.
Hatch. He was in the cold. It was like in the mountains or something. And I remember he befriended a falcon
Mm.
or an eagle or something like that. But I remember there's a part where it says that he heard a gunshot, and then next thing you know, he sees a dead deer like right in front of him. So he takes it real quick, and then he skins it and tans it and uses that deer to survive. And I like that aspect of so like maybe have like a home base in like a cave or maybe a tree or something, and then whatever you kill is like a trophy or something or something of the sorts to yeah, I like that. I like that
Yeah,
idea.
that makes me think of the forest, but instead of like there's whatever they're called, I can't think of the right word. I want to say carnivores, cannibals. That's it. Cannibals and monsters. There's just actual like realistic nature, like creatures from like that we have on this earth. Like that'd be
Mhm.
pretty cool.
So
But
like
yeah,
squirrels, raccoons, and
just anything that would be in like you could choose like three places or something, or maybe just one. Hell, maybe just one. But but yeah, just kind of like just exactly like pretty much how that game would be set up. Like I think that has the perfect foundation to make something else like that out of. Speaking of which, they're making a second Forest game. It's called Sons of the Forest, and it looks really good. I watched the trailer on that.
huh, I remember we attempted that before. So I thought it was okay, but like definitely used a little touching up here and there.
No, for
It had
sure.
something going for me, for
But
sure.
yeah, I mean, no, the graphics were good. The gameplay was decent enough for what it was, and I mean, you could skin animals. Like, granted, it was just a quick little like cutscene. You just pull it off, but still. And then you could cook it and eat it, and I don't know. I really like that. I really like that. It's just something I've kind of longed for.
I feel like they did have a hunting game for sure. Really good.
All right. So you're basically just saying then that you would just do it kind of the same way and like what you said.
Yeah, well, kind of. I wouldn't. Something that I also didn't like is like in 2006, the Cabela 2006. You had like four wheelers and stuff. No, I don't think four wheelers would be the way to go. If anything, I feel like it'd just be better off, like you said, on foot, just kind of,
Hmm.
you know.
I mean, maybe if you wanted to really get into it, you could make like a raft or something, or use like a boat or canoe or something. But no, I don't like the whole vehicles and hunting games. I really don't. I mean, I guess if you're gonna have a huge like in Hunter Call of the Wild, they have four wheelers, and I mean you kind of need it because how big those maps are. But then again, it's not like a survival based game. It's supposed to be hunting, and if you're not going to have other stuff to do besides hunting, and you just want to do that the fastest you can, then I guess it makes sense. But
Well, okay. How about going back to what you said about like Red Dead, how you can sell hides and stuff? What if you
mhm.
did that and then save up and buy them? I wouldn't. I'd be fine with that. I don't like just being given it though, like right off the bat. But like, you know,
Yeah, say like there's like a hermit or something that like lives in like a cabin or something. You go see him and you can buy stuff from him, like a gun or something. He just has a whole bunch of stuff and he's like all geared out and does like trips or something like to the store like every like couple months or something. Or I mean, I know some people that live in like cabins. They have like coordinated tour like those planes, like those boat planes come down and they'll give them like whatever they need like every so often. So maybe it's a situation like that.
yeah, no, I feel like that'd be a lot better for sure. I'd be fine with
Because
that.
that way you'd have, set up, or you could trade and like barter with. That'd be really cool, actually.
That'd be a motive too, and kind of encourage you to want to
Mm-hmm.
go out and do that, so you can get money and buy that stuff, and maybe even set up your own camp. So like, kind of like I guess I'm kind of going above and beyond here, but I'm kind of thinking like those games where you start out with like nothing and then you slowly like expand your empire. So like
Hmm.
starts out you're just a guy who lives in a cave, and all of a sudden you own a camper and like have a big fireplace or something. But over time, I don't know. I feel like that'd be kind of interesting.
Or you get like a cabin or something. You just start out like, say
Yeah.
the game just starts out like your goal was to move to like wherever. Just we'll just say Alaska, and you're put out in this cabin that you bought, and it's just like in the middle of nowhere, and all you got to start out is just some like food for like a week or something, and like I don't know, like some water and maybe like a medical kit and some flares or something like that, and a knife
Mhm.
or a hatchet or something like that, and maybe some like paracord or something like that, and then you just start from there.
I feel like that'd be really cool. Like
You
say
could make a slingshot or a bow.
yeah, like okay, what if you like started out shooting like squirrels or something, or like
That's what I'm
raccoons,
saying. Yeah,
and then you sold those, and they wouldn't be worth a whole lot because obviously they're small, but then yeah, build your way up to like getting a rifle, and then you shoot deer, and then you get
you
more.
could
And
build like your own like clothes, like coats and stuff, and
yeah,
you could make like rugs in your cabin. That'd be so cool.
that'd be so freaking cool. Cabela's, take notes. Making new hunting games.
Yes,
Just saying.
Cabela's would never do this. They like their crappy story based games now, and they like to just they don't even make games. I don't think anymore.
Yeah, I don't know the last game.
They got bought out by Bass Pro. I know that
Yeah,
Cabela's did. So I think that's kind of been the downfall.
yeah.
But no, if there's some indie developer, heck, even if there was somebody I knew, like, I mean, Troy said he was going to get into games. That'd be a cool thing. I think an idea we could do.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
But if any indie game developer steals that idea from seeing this, you owe us.
Yeah, I was about to say we own it.
Okay. Did we? I don't think. No, we didn't answer this. We were still on that. What started the downfall of hunting games?
I don't know. I don't know if there was really a like. I mean, obviously, hunting games have decreased in popularity, but like
That's because they don't make good hunting games anymore, though.
maybe it was like the transition from the old consoles to the new. Maybe because like I don't know, like the Xbox 360 had some really good hunting games for,
Mm-hmm.
but like I don't know. I honestly don't. Like I'm clueless.
I mean, I think the PC might have a couple, but no.
As
I
far as when, I don't know exactly when it.
No, I think kind of like when you said like when the 360 stopped being the new console. I think that's, even though Call of the Wild is decent enough, it just there's just something that kind of shifted, like you said, and I really do think that was a good example you gave of between the consoles, between the new generation. Makes a lot of sense to me.
So definitely, that's what I'd say is the transition because even the older consoles like PS2, even they even had some decent hunting games. I remember like I had
Oh
on my
yeah,
Snoopy Buck. That was
those were all my favorites back on that era. I mean, I liked some of the 360 ones as well, but
yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just nostalgia, but like those are
well, there's that too. But I'm telling you right now, if I went back and played Cabela's Dangerous Hunts on my 360 or if I got an original Xbox and played it, or PlayStation 2, whatever it may be, I would have more fun than I would playing any other hunting game now. And that's just the God's honest truth.
yeah. So
I kind of think the downfall was kind of like when you said the turning point of like the generation. But I also think a lot of the problems that have to do came with how realistic they're trying to make the hunting games.
Yeah.
Because you see now, like Hunting Simulator, Hunter Call of the Wild, which isn't as bad as Simulator in my opinion, but like it's just all the wrong reasons. They're too focused on making it feel like you're going out in the woods rather than making it be a quality game.
Mm-hmm.
And like we've been saying this whole time, if you're going to make a hunting game, it should, even though we want it to be realistic for the most part, if it's going to strictly be just a hunting game, then it has to have some other elements besides just realism in it. And I think that is where all the faults lie, in my opinion.
For sure, I really like that you said that. It's when they started trying to make it too realistic.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the trend started to downfall. For sure, because I don't know, it's just realism, but not too much, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Um. Okay, so do you prefer arcade or simulation style hunting games? I'm one of the people, like we've been saying this whole time. I know I keep saying that, but I want it smack dab, like kind of in the middle. I want it more so realistic than arcadey. Actually, hold on. Arcade. When I think of arcade, I don't necessarily. You know what? I'll take arcade as just unreal. The arcade style, like that game we played, the Safari one. I hated that. Like I don't want an arcade like that. But when I say arcade, I mean it kind of more of like gamey. That's how I'm going to interpret it, saying it. So just like I said earlier, 75% realistic, probably, maybe a little bit. It just depends. Probably 70% realistic and then like 30% non-realistic, because you want all the elements there of like your gun and how like the guns work, how your shot like dips off the farther you shoot, like how wind impacts. That's all stuff that I'd want. But you don't want to just sit outside in a blind or tree stand or just walk around for countless number of hours without seeing anything, because I've played Hunter Call of the Wild before for like 2.5 hours, haven't seen the thing. And it just makes it to where I don't want to play the game.
No, I feel that. Yeah, I'm kind of stuck because when I think, I guess I get what you're saying now, but like when you first said arcade, I was thinking like how they do have like arcade modes in some games where it's like you go along and you shoot as many as you can to get.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it was worded, but I kind of changed it a little bit just because I don't like the arcade at all.
Right. No. The arcade mode in hunting games could probably be fun if you had like a group of people to play with.
Hmm.
But if it's just like you and one other person, I don't see it being that enjoyable. But no, going back to the question, do I prefer arcade or simulation? I agree with you. Uh, I don't know about the 75-25 though. I feel like I might be more of the maybe. I want to say, I'm kind of undecided at the moment. I don't know if it's if
Just
I would.
depends on what they do and how they do it,
Yeah,
honestly.
exactly. It all depends. But like
I,
in some circumstances 50-50, other circumstances 80-20.
yeah, I was just throwing it out there just to say something, to be honest. Yeah, it could be 50-50. Like, as long as they do a good job, I guess that's all I really care about. But I would like it for the most part to be realistic and at least like all the aspects that you would really want it to be. But like I'm saying, just let the player choose. Why can't you let the player choose? Like, have like settings and then you can just flip them on and off, like Minecraft or Don't Starve or something like that. Like when you're making a sandbox game, you have the option to have however many. You can choose how many like animals or items or what individually. You can choose how many like spawn in and stuff like that. Just have it be like to where we can choose what we want to do and how we want to do it. And I think that would alleviate a lot of the problems, what's going on with current hunting games.
It might also, if you do that, help educate people. Like I feel like that's how hunting games are like nowadays. Kind of is more
Mm-hmm.
educational than fun. because like they go realistic with the tracks, the wind, the droppings, and
Yes.
all that stuff. That's great and wonderful, but like I don't know, like I feel like if they did a sandbox, that would definitely
Yeah.
move it. Like they can put up certain, or if somebody was trying to explain a scenario to somebody, it could be a way to explain like a scenario and help educate. I don't know.
No, definitely. Okay. And this kind of goes off like what I said when I would make like a survival style hunting game. Is there a place for a survival style hunting game? My take, absolutely. 110%.
Mhm. There's definitely a place for those kind of games, but if it's done right, like I know I keep going back to that, and you do too. But like, it's just we're I'm so fed up with these games that don't,
Half-ass.
yeah, are half-assed. But like, if a survival style hunting game is done right, it'll be really successful. I know for sure.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is when people make survival games, I know this isn't a survival episode, but what I think a lot of the studios, besides maybe like Ark, but that's kind of different. I don't. It's a survival game, but I don't really see it as a survival game. I see it more like a building game, like you just tame animals and stuff. I don't really see it big survival. But aside from that, they don't really add to like any survival games. They just throw it out there and then they're done with it. They don't really add like any new weapons or any new ideas. Why would you not do that? If you want to have any game like that grow, you should keep adding to it. Not saying add stupid stuff, but like if people have ideas, just keep adding to it. Like if you can think of some new weapons or new locations, uh, just new stuff that would go well in the game, go ahead and do it because um, you just want people to have a good time when they're playing for as long as they can. If you add new stuff in and people like it, and it'll give them even more reason to keep playing. That's what you want when you make games. You want people to play it for as long as they can.
And kind of like Minecraft, in a way, like they've slowly
Mm-hmm.
added stuff and new weapons and that kind of.
Exactly like that.
And Minecraft's huge, like. But yeah, I feel like if they did something like that and then just kept adding to it, but not like Call of Duty adding,
No,
like
not behind a paywall or I mean if you add something really cool like a new map or something like that, then we can start talking maybe like $10 or something. But to just charge money for updates, kind of like Call of Duty does, like where you can get the weapon by playing if you play like for this certain number of hours and grind all this time, or you can just buy your way through in the battle pass and have the weapon unlocked immediately.
hmm
Not saying anything bad about the battle pass because I think battle passes are actually decent for the most part. But when you lock stuff behind, at least I knew how that kind of was, and I don't know if they still do it because I don't really keep up with Cold War. I haven't kept up with Call of Duty since Black Ops 4. But in Black Ops 4, I remember that you could unlock the gun by playing, but you'd have to play just so much to
hmm
get it, to get the weapons. But we can bash microtransactions probably in
yeah,
another video.
for sure, freaking, that'll definitely be a rant. What was I going to say? I guess going back to the arcade thing. Remember that one game, that hunting game that we played at the local restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, the one thing I liked about that, and I just mentioning this because I like remembering the old days and yada yada. But like if you did well on parts of that game, you would get a weapon, a limited weapon that you can use for the next level, which I thought
Mm, I remember that. Yeah.
you got a crossbow or you got a really high powered rifle or something like that. I don't know. I just really like that game. Like it
It's
was.
really good for an arcade style hunting game. Like if they're going to be arcade, then that's how they should be arcade. They shouldn't make console games that are like that. That's meant to be played at like a restaurant and like an arcade machine or in an actual arcade, not on a console game.
That'd be something I wouldn't mind talking about too. Is how expensive arcade machines are. Like Oh my god, they're fun, but why are they so expensive?
I don't know. That's kind of why they died. I know in Japan, they still have them, and arcades are huge, but they don't. They charge like a quarter to play the games because they're more like a social thing. Like over there, that's where people just go to hang out and stuff. But I kind of think that's why they died. That would be a good video to do. What happened, like arcade machines?
Yeah, no, I know. Me and
I
my
used to
family.
have so much fun playing on them, but no, the price just, it used to be like a quarter, then it was two, and now it's like $1 more to play it. And I'm just like, no, I will not spend my money at one of these places because it's outrageous. And plus, the games aren't that fun, but if you're hanging out with people, I mean, it's, it doesn't really matter.
You kind of get that high off of having fun, and you kind of do it anyway. I get,
Mm,
but like, I don't know, like even like pinball machines, which it's like, okay, pinball, ooh, you're
mm,
just bouncing a ball off the walls and stuff. It's like they can go for like $10,000 or something like that.
oh,
Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
and that's why like it's just crazy about these hunting games too, like the arcade hunting games. It's like they're they're fun, like you said, to like if you're in like a with your family or something, there's nothing else to do, and
Mm,
they give you a stack of quarters and you go spend them on an arcade machine. That's fun, but like the graphics aren't the best, and the gameplay is about as good as a 2D side scroller. It's I just don't understand why they're so expensive to buy. I mean,
that's a good question. I've always kind of wondered the same thing. Because if they weren't as expensive as they are, I'd probably buy a couple, to be honest with you.
oh for sure.
I would probably have a Mortal Kombat one or something like that. I'm trying to think, like, what are some of my favorites? I really liked Mortal Kombat. I really liked some of the hunting game ones, but there was one I played before. It had like a foam sword, and you were using like a sword to like slash around the screen. That was probably like my favorite one.
Oh,
You were killing like either zombies, I think is what it was, maybe vampire. I think it was zombies. It was at not Dave and Buster's, Minor Mike's, at Minor Mike's,
Ryan Mike.
and Osage Beach, Minor
Hmm.
Mike's,
Oh, okay. Osage Beach. I got you.
and it's like right across from like the little strip mall. They have all those stores. It's like right across from that, and yeah, that was really fun. But I think they got rid of it because I was there. I want to say I was there like 2 years ago, and I don't think I saw it, but. And then there's also they had this big room you would go into, and you have like these joysticks, and like it's like you're in like a spaceship. That was pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm. Wow, this is getting me excited. We should definitely talk about arcade machines.
Oh, for sure. I used to play them so much.
Yeah.
No, that would definitely be a great episode. Um, red dot or not?
What do you mean?
Like how there's a red dot on the screen, like that shows you where the animal is,
Okay.
not the scope. Like I said, give us the option to turn it on or off. Alleviates everything. That's it. Yeah, I forgot to touch on that earlier. That's another reason why I really like Cabela's Dangerous Hunt. It changed with the difficulty, but depending on what difficulty you had it on, the red dot was there, and you know where the animal is. And granted, that's kind of cheap, but also, like we've been saying, who wants to sit there for an hour and just carefully just go and act like it's a real hunt? We just want to shoot something.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that as well. And even though there was a red dot, you still wouldn't exactly know where it was because there could be like a mountain range behind it or like this wall that you have to like go around. Like you still like didn't exactly know where it was.
Mm-hmm. No, I know exactly what you're talking about because I remember that. And honestly, even with the red dot, I was terrified because
Mm-hmm.
you said you don't know if they're like on the other side or if they're even farther from that. So
Mm-hmm.
they could be right there. So like,
Yeah.
oh man, I say either or would
Mm-hmm.
they don't matter to me. It's still gonna be terrifying if there's a big bear on the other side of the hill.
Oh yeah, for sure. We've kind of hit this over the head, so I'm gonna skip it. It was just like, can hunting games be too realistic? We have hit that damn question over the head 100 times with a hammer. So finally, this is our final question. Should there be any hunting game remakes? Since they're not pushing out any good ones, why not remake some of the old ones? I would say that if they're not going to make any good new ones, then definitely they should remake some.
I agree. I definitely feel like they've had potential in the past, and I feel like if they redone them, they would definitely um, do very very well. Uh, Going back to like carnivores, I feel like if they redid those, they would definitely be a really really fun game to do. Like
Mm-hmm.
carnivores is so old, and like the graphics are crap, and the sound effects are very you get really tired of them quick. But I feel like if they just changed, if they updated it, it would be such a fun game, hunting down dinosaurs and killing them.
Oh yeah, that kind of reminds me of Turok a little bit, and that's not really like a hunting game, but that was pretty fun too.
Yeah, I don't know. Turok's kind of like it, but it's more of a like how do I put it? It's kind of like it reminds me of Alien versus Predator in a way because it's like
Mm-hmm.
you
It
know
is
you're
both.
you're Predator. You're there to kill these humans, and then all of a sudden aliens come in. You got to deal with them. That's kind of how I
Mm-hmm.
feel. It's like okay, you're there to kill the bad guys, and all of a sudden there's a dinosaur. And you're like, oh, okay, I got to kill the dinosaur now. Not
Mm.
hunting. It's just kind of
Yeah. No, it's kind of that sci-fi stuff, but still, like it can still has its place. Kind of like I said, even though it's I guess realistic to a sense, I really liked Far Cry Primal, and I mean, of course, it's not a hunting game, but it had a lot of good hunting aspects in it.
mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of any other games. I'm pretty sure there's probably a couple I'm missing that have had like really good hunting aspects. I've tried to mention them all.
I think it's Cabela's Dangerous Hunts 2011. I want to say, did you ever play that one?
That's the one with the story where is that the one where at the beginning the guy's friend dies to a bear or something?
That is 2013.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember. I think
2011,
I've played all of them.
2011 has the, there's the dad and his two sons. One of the sons is who you play as, obviously, and you're like it's kind of like Modern Warfare game. Like the first couple Modern Warfare games
What
where you can talk. You're just kind of there.
was that the one where you got like you could buy the actual like gun with it? I think that was
Maybe
because yeah. Then I know I've played it. I just don't remember it.
it,
I've played all of the hunting games.
the thing is, like, I watched it. Yeah, okay, I see it right here. It does come with a gun.
Yep.
Um,
Then yep.
I how do I put this? I watched the whole thing. Like, I never owned the game, but I watched the whole thing on
Hmm.
when I was younger. I feel like the story is not bad because it's kind of cool in a way, but they definitely could have played it off way better. Because the story, and I'll just say it right now, the story is that um, it starts off with the dad and the two brothers, or his two sons, or whatever.
Hmm.
You kill your first deer. He's like, oh, eat the heart. That's apparently a thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and then I guess the son, his son, one of his sons gets killed by wolves or something,
Hmm.
and the dad like doesn't talk to the other son for like 10 years or something like that, and he shows back up, and then at the very end, you find out that the dad has basically put you through tests, kind of thing, and he's kind of tested you by putting you in these sticky situations, and then in the end, you face what he calls his new creation, which I think is very very cool. It's like a mixed beast kind of thing, mainly a hyena and like something else. I think he might have mixed a hyena with like a wolf or a hyena with a lion or something, but I just kind of and the gameplay is kind of crazy, like a crazy Cabela's game. Like you get your pistol's unlimited ammo. You just walk around, you shoot basically anything you want. Birds, snakes, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I liked it because it's kind of like a test, kind of thing. I feel like that's kind of a cool aspect. Like, and then at the end, it's this creature that we've never seen before.
Hmm.
I just kind of like that. I don't know why. I really like that kind of idea.
Yeah. No, I don't. I faintly remember different things about that game. Yeah, that wasn't that horrible. There anything else you want to go over? Because I'm out of questions.
Oh, I guess. I guess I got a question.
Okay.
I got a question. Let's see what you think. Are there any games now that you wish you had back then? Like, are you okay with the hunting games that you started out playing, or would you rather have played some of the newer games back when you were younger, like as your first like hunting game?
I definitely preferred the games I had when I was a kid because I used to play the crap out of hunting games when I was a kid and when I was, growing up into the teen years. Um, I don't know if I don't know. I just I'm really glad that the hunting games now weren't around because I don't know. I just don't really see, like you said earlier, they're more educational than they are like actually a game.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think that maybe I'm not 100% sure. I think maybe I wouldn't like hunting as much as I do today if I would have played those games when I was little because I would think it was so boring. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, yeah, no, I completely understand. I really do. Yeah. Um, I definitely like the older ones mainly for their craziness because
Hmm.
it made you like enjoy. Okay, I don't want to make it sound like it's fun killing animals because we do it obviously for food and to support
Hmm.
whatever. But
Hmm.
as a kid, that was what made it fun was the idea of you shot these animals and it was just enjoyable. But like you said, if you're just walking around for 3 hours and you don't see anything, it's like, well, what the hell? You know, like it's not that enjoyable. It might as well not even be a game. You know, you might as well with that. You might as well just have a live stream of a guy sitting.
Just
Like,
sitting. That's what I'm gonna do on YouTube. I'm just gonna have a live stream and I'm just gonna sit in a tree stand for like just 4 hours and just go off and like do whatever I want to do. Just go to work or something and have it just sitting there, like when he's just sitting in the tree stand.
yeah, exactly. And then like the kids will be screaming at the screen. There's a deer right there, but you're not there.
Yeah, there's like 2 deer the whole time. Oh man,
Oh man, that'd be so funny. Like, you want a hunting simulator? Here you go.
pretty much. Gosh.
Most realistic hunting game you'll ever get.
Yeah, that's how they try to pawn it off now. Let's just like I don't know. Some of the simulators are really cool, like the flight simulator, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if we could dedicate a whole episode to fishing games because there's only been like two ever like really good that I've ever played, but um, that's something there needs to be a good game for too, fishing. But I kind of say put them like throw them together. Just why not have a survival game, or even if you're not gonna have a survival game, just put fishing in a hunting game. I mean, they're the same thing.
Hmm.
Like, just go if you're gonna throw these big lakes in and like hunting games. Why? I just want to cast a line in them. Like, why can't I do that? I don't know.
No, I
They've
agree.
only ever done it, I think, in one game, which was Cabela's Alaskan Adventures, and obviously in Red Dead. But it's
Which
something
is where you
else.
what again? You
Uh, I
fish.
think it's like a story-based game.
Hmm.
I don't remember it that well, but yeah, you could go fishing, you could go hunting. I remember you flew in on one of those planes and it lands on the water, and you just get out. And you just do whatever. No, but the fishing games I played that were good. There was my favorite one is Rapala Pro Fishing. It was on the Xbox and I think PlayStation 2. That one's really fun because it took a very long time. But that was because of like the way it was set up. It wasn't the missions were like tournaments, and you would always have to like catch the most or catch the biggest, like in order to win. So you might have to do it a lot of times. But for the most part, you never had to sit there for a long time. You would cast, and you would either see if there's fish around you or not. You're not just going to sit there and cast for hours upon hours upon hours, just sitting there. Because, you know, I really liked how they did it because when you cast, they had a button you could press. It was like the little white button, I think, on the Xbox controller, and you could see the lure in the water. And they haven't really had that in like a fishing game that I've played. I've played a couple, not all of them. There was that, and then there was the Strike. It was made by Bass Pro Shop, and that one was also really good. But aside from that, I don't think there's one called the Catch. Something carp or something and course or something. It's okay, but I don't know.
I don't even think.
I just thought I'd throw that in there because I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say about fishing games.
No, yeah, totally. I mean, it's in, it's same aspect, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, there hasn't really been that many good fishing. Like nowadays, it's just a lot of like we've said, they go to realism.
Yeah, they're horrible. Like I'll sit here and buy. There's one fishing game I bought. It was on sale for like $13. I was like, oh, this is cool. It's made by Rapala, who made that game before. So just name recognition alone, I was like, oh my god, I'm buying it because I thought it would maybe just a little bit like it. No, they have these fishing games now where you can't where you're just on a dock. You don't ever get on a boat and explore this big like lake or ocean or what. Make a fishing game where we can go fishing in the ocean. How about that? They haven't done that yet. Besides maybe freaking Deadliest Catch that I done a 360. Besides from that, I haven't played a game where you can go fishing in the ocean that's not this Humpty Dumpty whatever. I'm not trying to cuss, so I'm just gonna say that. Just Looney Tune freaking fishing game where you're just standing on a dock. When I fish personally in real life, I don't like standing in the same spot the whole time. I don't like just having a couple places to go on a dock. No, in real life, people fish on a boat. People fish on a boat and they go off and they go in like the middle and of the lake. They have their fish finder, which I don't care if there's a fish finder or not. I mean, it would make the game a little bit more fun because you know where the fish are.
Mm-hmm.
But why can't we just have more games to where we can get on a boat and fish rather than sit on a freaking dock? I hate that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like you said, a lot of people want to get on the boat and go in the middle because that's where the big fish are, and that's where you're gonna get the most activity. Like, I don't know, like.
And I'm shocked they haven't came up with the game where you fish in the ocean. I really am.
Yeah, me too. I've gone deep sea fishing. It's freaking fun. Like normal fishing's fun, but oh my god,
I haven't got to do that, but there will be at some point in time where I will. And I know like you have to fight fish for a really long time. I don't care. I mean, as long as I'm have a fish on my line, I don't care how long I'm fighting it. I just don't want to like not have the fish bite.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you're fishing like in the ocean, you obviously are going to come across something that bites.
Because that's the joys of it, is that you don't know what you're going to catch. Like in a pond or whatever, or even a lake, you know pretty much what you're going to catch.
There could be a shark or a squid on your line for all you know.
You go to the freaking ocean, you can catch Moby Dick. Like you don't. You're gonna freaking. It's incredible.
Yeah, the whale swallowed Jonah could be on the Endear Dam line for all you know. Oh man.
The Kraken.
The Kraken. That's it. Squid.
Jaws.
Yeah. Squid, octopus. I don't know. Loch Ness monster.
If Nessie's still alive, then I guess he's gonna get up.
Yeah. I mean, I really am kind of surprised by that. Like, because I don't know how exactly they do it, obviously, because you can't just have the whole ocean. But honestly, it would not be that hard. I don't think. I mean, I don't really know that much about game developing, but it could not be that hard to just have a huge like open water like thing, and just have it to be where you can like choose your gear or something. Like, I don't know. It'd be really cool to like catch sharks and stuff.
That would be really awesome. It really would. I mean, I know one thing, and I guess this is kind of off topic, but no, you know what? Not really. I'm gonna bring it up anyway.
Go ahead.
When we went deep sea fishing, my dad was like, well, they had like these, they used like actual fishing line, and
Mm-hmm.
and it would break on us sometimes, very rarely, but it would break on us sometimes. It just, I guess if it was a shark, it probably bit off the line or something.
So they put the steel leaders usually on if you're
Well,
fishing for shark.
that's why my dad's like, why don't they just use like like a freaking steel cable? You
I
know,
mean, you can, but
like I was kind of thinking the thing too. You think that they would have like a steel if we're gonna be catching sharks or something,
mm-hmm.
freaking steel cable that they one can't bite through and two it won't break if the fish is competitive. I mean, come on, like I don't know. That's just my thing
Well,
though.
no,
But
depending on what you're fishing for. I mean, you need the right equipment. Like when I watched, what's his name? I almost said Jeremy Lloyd. Jeremy Wade. When you see Jeremy Wade going out and fishing for like these big like creatures with these teeth, he doesn't just use regular line. He puts steel leaders or uses like you said, like cable or stuff like that,
hmm
metal line, stuff like that.
yeah, because I don't know, like, well, okay, I guess some of it is if you hook a whale, obviously you don't want to get your boat, you don't want to get dragged away, nor do you
Good.
want.
I don't think you're gonna catch a whale on a
Well,
fishing
you know what I
hole.
mean? Like say your hook gets stuck on a whale, and they're big.
Mm, that would. Oh, imagine just getting. I remember when I had my lure get stuck in that pond and it got clipped in me, dude. That hurt. I literally thought you were gonna have to come and help me. It hurt so bad, and I just cringed. Like I just shuddered just thinking of. But that was one of the worst pains of my life because I was just stuck and I couldn't like move. And by the grace of Jesus Christ Himself, it somehow came undone. I literally didn't do anything. It just came out. Um,
Oh my Lanta.
but I could only imagine being a whale and having some big hook just like
And
when
those
you're snagging stuff. Oh
are
yeah.
really big.
Yeah, those hooks they use, like depending on what you're going for, they'll be like this freaking big, if not bigger than like this mic. They can be huge.
Yeah, so that's just a crazy thing, and I don't know. I mean, it's just
But Uncle Sam, like he'd say, I want you to develop a good survival hunting game, and I want you to develop a good ocean fishing game because that'd be really fun.
for sure. I couldn't say anything any better. Well said.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Just try to think here. I feel like we're missing something. I don't know if that's just because it's me and you or what, but I feel like we've missed something. I don't know.
I'm also not too sure. Whoops! There went my rifle.
To add on, it would obviously kind of intertwine if it was a survival game, but trapping too, that'd be really fun, like a trapping game, because you can do that in the not just like a trapping game, but like when you hunt, you can trap too.
hmm
Because in the forest, I know I keep going back to that, and you know what? That's kind of a hunting game because you can trap stuff, you can just go out and hunt stuff, and while it's not like just straight up hunting game, it has a lot of those cool elements, like when you're watching like a survival show that you'd see people do, and I don't know, that's just as much hunting because that's how they used to do it for thousands of years. That's you would hunt to make that your next meal. It wasn't just to go out and like just say, oh, I killed something. No, that's not what it's about. It's about survival and it's about learning to do with, in case stuff ever hit the fan or anything like that. But it's just fun to kind of like, for me, anyways, like what I enjoy about hunting, kind of fun just to appreciate the animal because you know damn well that cows and pigs and stuff aren't appreciated the way they're killed. But if you go out and you kill a deer or whatever animal, you know that you're doing the most humane like thing that could happen if you're going to take it and you can put it to good use.
hmm well said. I completely agree. I mean, it's just if you went up to somebody and say, yeah, I shot a cow. It's like, okay, congrats.
Yeah.
Burger, burgers much, you know?
Hey, I mean they taste great, don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
steak I
no,
love it, but
no, no,
but
I'm not vegan.
uh,
Um, but yeah, if you go up and you say, well, I shot I shot a dying, animal. or like a deer
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
something that was suffering, because the wilderness is hard. Like, it's very
Oh
tough.
yeah.
When you do that, you're honestly doing them a favor. Even if they're healthy, it's still doing them a favor, because they're having a hard life out there,
Oh yeah.
surviving on their own. So I mean,
No, I mean that's what they're here for. I don't care what anybody says they're here to be eaten, but they shouldn't just need this. There's some people just kill it, like poachers and stuff like that, and screw those people. But the majority of people just, want to make sure the animal is put to good use. And I mean, it don't get me wrong, it is, you do kind of get a thrill when you go out and shoot something like, oh, I got this buck, and you like to post it and all that. But
yeah,
but
no,
that's just like, that's honestly half of it. That's not, the other half is just, I can't speak for everybody, but just like knowing that that you got use out of something, and that like how to use, like say like an animal, like you can use the hide, and you can learn just about all that stuff. I don't know,
and,
all of the pieces of it.
and I guess that's the problem with games nowadays, or even back then. Well, okay, back then it was meant to be like hunting games are meant to be fun. I get it, but I feel like they also don't look at
They don't show that aspect at all,
no, they don't show that aspect at
and
all.
that's why I'm saying put it in survival, so that way you'll know.
Mhm. Like you'll know, okay, you killed a big buck, congrats, but it also did more for you than just a rack to put on the wall.
Exactly, and that's, I mean, granted, there's really no hunting game or no game with hunting in it besides maybe like Far Cry and why did I almost say Deadliest Catch? Red Dead Redemption 2 and The Force that show that, but no, that's very like valid, um, and that's something that's honestly should be in there, because hunting's not all just fun. You got to put the time in. You got to skin the animal. You got to make sure you get a good clean shot, because you don't want it to suffer. And that's something that those games have never really shown, and that's something you have to learn in real life. But if those games took some small steps towards doing that, I think it would honestly be a little bit better. Especially if you're going to call a game hunting simulator, not show like the whole other side of hunting.
Hmm.
Like, come on.
And this kind of goes along with that. Remember the hunting sequence in The Last of Us? Granted, it was a buck.
Hmm.
One of the characters in the comments like, "Hey, it's a nice buck," but
Yeah.
the player, as far as I am, like, granted, I'm a hunter, you're a hunter, whatever. It's a buck, awesome.
Hmm.
But as the player, we see it the way Ellie sees it: food.
Hmm.
It's a buck, great, but it's food, and
Yeah.
that's what the hunt was about, was getting those materials. And I thought that was, I feel like that's how it should be. Like you said, you should look at it more as something to provide for you.
Exactly. It's a way to provide instead of just, having fun pulling the trigger.
But that's about it for me. That's all I got.
Yeah, I guess we're keeping it real. We're not holding back. So I don't know. Kind of like movies too. They just, if you're gonna show something, it doesn't matter what it is. You should show it the right way. You shouldn't put a lens over stuff. And I hate censorship and stuff of any kind where you can't see how things actually are. I think that does a disservice to everybody. If you're gonna show something, show it all the way or don't show it at all.
You're exactly right. Like, you know, that's something else too. Like with hunting too, people see the thrill of it. Okay, they shot a deer, yada yada, but then people don't want to cook or get their hands dirty when it comes to processing and seeing the gross
Mm-hmm.
part of it, where they gotta not. I don't want to say mutilate, but they gotta tear it apart, and then you know, like you gotta see it all to understand
Mm-hmm.
exactly what you're doing. You know,
Yeah. So not the happiest note, I guess, to end on, but it's the truth, and to me, the truth is more important than anything else. So. Yeah. All right. Well, we want to thank you guys for watching this philosophical episode of Press Play Podcast. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like, share, all that fun stuff. And we will be back. I don't know. We might miss the episode update on Wednesday. Maybe we can record tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow, so I'll see what happens there. But I do not know if we will have an episode out Wednesday, but we will definitely get some episodes to you here before too long. So thank you guys. Peace out.